Good evening, everyone. This is a public hearing of the Zoning Board of Appeals. The zoning ordinance empowers us to hear references from the City Council, petition from other parties for variances and special uses, and appeals from the decision of the zoning administrator. We hear testimony from those in attendance and then make formal findings of fact based on the evidence presented, which consists of testimony and exhibits and on our knowledge of the community. We will then either make a decision or recommendation to the City Council. Testimony is taken under oath. Although we do not apply the strict rules of evidence and procedure, we ask that you keep your testimony relevant to the proposal as it relates to the standards contained in the zoning ordinance. When you testify, please state your name and address for the record and so we can contact you. Each case will be introduced by staff and a list of documents will be read into the record. Then the applicant will give an explanation of the proposal. After that, those who wish to testify as either proponents or opponents of the case will have the chance to do so, and then the applicant will have a chance to respond. Any case not concluded at tonight's hearing will be continued to our next meeting. Melissa, you can call the roll.
I can call the roll if you want.
Oh, okay, Katie, you can call the roll.
Okay. Chair Colon.
Present.
Member Ezekian. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly.
Present. It's like a deacon of the church. Present.
Deacon. Okay, thank you. Member Aravalo.
Here.
And member Miranchev.
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Okay, next, I will swear in anyone who plans to give testimony in any of the cases scheduled for tonight. We have one. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you will provide in connection with this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? That's for the Wagners.
We do.
So we do. Okay. Will any members who were absent from the last hearing certify for tonight they've read this transcript on any matters that will continue to tonight's hearing?
Chair Colon, may we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Yes. Can somebody please make the motion to suspend the rules?
I move that we suspend the rules in order for members to participate virtually and via telephone this evening in accordance with rules offered in light of COVID restrictions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now can we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of June 15th, 2021? Could someone please make a motion?
I was not there, so I cannot make that motion.
Were you there, Carol? You're muted. I can't hear you. Carol, you're muted. I didn't hear you.
That's a glitch. So I make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
We have to do a roll call vote for
Oh,
everyone.
we do? Oh, for everything? Okay. Go ahead, Katie. Do the roll call.
Okay, member Cullen,
Approve.
member Miranchev,
Approve.
member Deacon,
Abstain.
member Aravalo,
Abstain.
Okay, well passed. All righty.
I
So what-
think, do we consider those passed, Melissa? It was 2-2. I don't think we can.
I think we'll have it carry over to the next meeting just to be
Okay.
safe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I don't remember if I was in the meeting, the last meeting, so
No
I can't
problem.
recall.
Okay. Well, let's move on to new business. Our item of new business for this evening, one on the agenda, is 1404 to 1408 Greenleaf Street. I will need somebody to explain the proposal. I see Donna Lee Floater is here and also the Wagners, whichever one of you.
I can go ahead and read the case into the record too.
Oh, okay, please do.
This is regarding the public hearing this evening is for the property located at 1404 through 1408 Greenleaf Street, zoning case 21 ZMJV-0067. Donna Lee Floater, architect, and Russell and Paula Wagner, property owners, request a variation from section 6-6-4-4 of the Evanston zoning code to allow a non-conforming structure to be increased in size and expand the non-conforming residential use in said structure for the construction of an addition to an existing non-conforming residential structure in the B1 business district. The zoning board of appeals is the determining body for this case in accordance with section 6-3-8-10 of the Evanston zoning code. Okay,
Thanks, Katie. Which one of you all would like to explain the proposal? Wagner's or Ms. Floater? Hi, Ms. Floater, you're muted though. You're talking, but I can't hear you. You're still muted.
There, it took me a minute to figure out how I'm doing this on my phone, which I don't usually do. So anyway, now I am, you can hear me, which is good.
Yes.
Okay, the property at, it actually had, it's one property with one pin, but it has 3 addresses. The front building is a 2-flat. Well, the first floor is a storefront where the homeowner currently runs his business from. And the second floor is an apartment where the property owners currently live. The first floor is 1404, the second floor is 1406, and the house in the back, which is where we're proposing to do work, is 1408. So all of these different addresses are on one property. So I'll speak to the property in the back, which is a little frame house that's been there for 100 years at least. Which is in sore need of some remodeling and work. And that's what the homeowners are proposing to do. They have owned the property for 17 years. As I said, he runs his business from the storefront. They live in the apartment above. They have the same tenants for the whole 17 years they've owned the building or the property. Those tenants decided to move out earlier this summer, which gave the homeowners an opportunity to get in there and really see what needed to be done and making the decision that they would like to live in that rear home themselves and then rent the apartment in the front building to another tenant. The structure in the back is a little frame house. There are some pictures. I'm not sure what you guys have been able to see. When we did the DAPR meeting, there were some photographs included in the packet. So if you've seen those, you can see how needed the work is. So what the homeowners are proposing to do is do a 2nd-story addition, which is approximately half the size of the floor below, and add on the additional square footage to the footprint is less than 100 square feet. There's an enclosed porch on the front that we're going to take off and rebuild and make it slightly bigger. And there are no issues with setbacks, with square footage limits, with impermeable surfaces limits. The only thing we're asking for relief from the zoning code is that increase to a currently non-conforming use, which has been there for 100 years. And Russell and Paula may want to add a few words.
Yes, thank you, Donnelly, and thanks everyone for your time to hear our request for zoning relief. I'm Russell, this is Paula, we're married. We moved to Evanston in 1982 so I could pursue a career in restoration of fine musical instruments. We moved into a really poor house, or really the worst house in the neighborhood, 1303 Washington Street. It's at the corner of Washington and Asbury. We raised our 2 kids. Paula went back to school, became a nurse, worked at Evanston Hospital for years, and then went back to school and became a nurse practitioner. Recently retired, but she's volunteering with the city of Evanston to give vaccines, bless her heart. So I think I've covered just a little bit of our history of doing construction projects in Evanston. We did a major restoration of that house at 1303 Washington, including a addition and a sizable garage. We ended up becoming a landmark home and winning a preservation award about 1987, which I'm really proud of. In 2005, I was walking around and saw this building at 1404 Greenleaf and just fell in love with the north-facing windows, and because they'd be ideal for my business. And so we bought it. We inherited this dilapidated house, wooden, and inherited tenants that have been wonderful. They moved out, and we looked at the house, and it was just in deplorable condition. And it consists of 3 of this tiniest little bedrooms, which are unusable. But we thought, hey, we're getting old, having trouble getting up to the 2nd floor. Why don't we fix up this house and make it good for us? And so we can have 1st floor living. So it'll have us 1 bedroom in the 1st floor and a laundry and everything we need on the 1st floor. But we'd really like to have a couple additional rooms for our kids to visit, which we hoping to raise this roof about 7 feet and tuck 2 little bedrooms up there. I guess that's about it. The materials, I read through the packet, and the materials have been prepared beautifully by the city. I mean, the report from the DAPR committee was spot on. So any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Anybody have questions?
Yeah, I have a question just for clarification. So are there any changes being to the front 2-story building, or all the changes proposed to the rear structure?
The
all
only
the rear
changes,
structure.
yeah, exactly, all to the little house in back.
And Melissa, can you help me understand what the zoning changes were? Basically, it sounds like we're increasing the intensity, might not be the right word, but the intensity of a non-conforming use, basically increasing the square footage, or how would you describe that?
Correct. The addition itself complies with all zoning regulations. The only thing that you guys are reviewing is the increase of a non-conforming use.
The increase in square footage of a non-conforming use.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
So the increased square footage is where the pergola is now with the grapevine on it? Is that where you?
No.
No.
I'd have to look at a picture. The north side of the little house in the backyard has an enclosed glass porch on it. That's where the increase would happen, in removing that and making that slightly bigger to the west.
Okay. So let me ask you something. Is there a sewer connection in that building? There's a
Yes.
bathroom in there? There is.
Yes. Oh, yes. There were existing tenants living there for more than 17 years. They had a bathroom, a kitchen, living room, dining room, bedrooms. It's small, but it was a fully functional house.
Okay.
One additional question. Have there been conversations with your adjacent neighbors related to the work that you're proposing to be done?
Yes, they're all in favor of it.
And we did not receive any comments in favor or against in writing as well for this request.
Would you like to say something, Ms. Benicia?
I did send something in writing before the meeting, but I echo what Mr. Wagner said, that it's a really, I'm sorry.
Can we swear her in to speak?
Okay.
I thought I had sworn her in the beginning.
We did, but I think actually we did this suspend the rules and then it, yeah. So we can swear
Okay,
in
so-
the neighbor. Thank you.
The comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you will provide in connection with this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, what were you saying?
I've lived at 1028 Wesley for 25 years. So I've had the opportunity to spy on the Wagners the whole time they've lived there. And what I can really say is that Russell is the kind of craftsman. He repairs instruments that when they built a garage, they made it out of brick. You know, he's the only person I know that still that uses centimeters. And when I asked to borrow a measuring tape, he wants to know if I want calipers. So I am sure, and all the neighbors around are excited to see what he'll do with the house, because he is an impeccable craftsman, and everything that he's done to the front of the existing building, the back, the garage, his grounds, the pots in front of his house have always been such an addition to the neighborhood. We're just all excited. And I represent everyone.
She's the mayor.
In the universe around
In the
him.
universe,
I
okay.
swear and affirm, I represent every single neighbor within 600 feet.
They all sent you. Okay,
Okay.
that's good to know. Anybody else want to comment on this? I'm going to close the record. Okay, that's all we have. So I'm going to close the record and ask the zoning board. Any comments? What's your feeling about this project?
I think it's a fairly straightforward case. It's exciting to see long-term residents taking and improving their property. That's a great neighborhood over there, you know, with continued, it sounds like retail or business use of the ground floor. I think it's exciting, so I support the project.
Same here, I'm in support. It's a good project. It's a pretty straightforward. And it's good to have it just because it is in, let's say, in the general use of the neighborhood, and it will support the neighborhood. It's a good project, so I'm in support. No problem for me.
Okay.
I echo my board members, and I also am in favor for this project.
Thank you. I'm also in support. I like what's happening back in this district. I think that every time I go over there, I see a new little business, and I think that's great. And they all seem like they're smaller home-owned businesses. So I like this project for that area. And now that we've all said that, I'm going to move on to read the standards. The variation standards. I'm going to read them slowly. If any of my board members disagree, please stop me. For a variation to be approved, the ZBA must find that the proposed variation 1 will not have a substantial adverse impact on the use, enjoyment, or property values of adjoining properties. This standard has been met. The combination of uses on the subject property, a music repair shop with residential, are permitted in the B1 district. The city is not aware of any complaints related to the existing uses at this time of this request. Standard number 2 is in keeping with the intent of the zoning ordinance. Staff has determined that this standard has been met. The proposed expansion will allow an existing accessory structure to be improved upon so that it remains functional for current and future occupants as a dwelling unit. Number 3, has it hardship or practical difficulty that is peculiar to the property? This standard has been met. The property is unique in its existing use and the structure configuration, with an existing accessory dwelling unit located in the rear of the property behind an existing mixed-use principal structure. Number 4, this standard has been met. The property owner would survive a particular hardship or practical difficulty as distinguished from a mere inconvenience. This standard has been met. The owners are requesting the addition so that they will have the first floor living space to age in place and remain at the property where they have resided for the last 17 years. They currently live on the second floor of the principal structure. Number 5, is not based exclusively upon a desire to extract additional income from the property or public benefit to the whole will be derived. This standard has been determined to be met. The expansion is intended to improve the functionality of the structure as an accessory dwelling unit. Number 6, does not have a hardship or practical difficulty that was created by any person having an interest in the property. This standard has been determined to be met. The existing accessory dwelling unit to be increased in size has been located on the property before the current owner's ownership, use, and the occupancy of the subject property. Number 7, is limited to the minimum change necessary to alleviate the particular hardship or practical difficulty. This standard has been met. The expansion of the existing non-conforming use will serve to improve the functionality of the structure for the current property owners and the future residents of the structures. Those are the standards. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move in the matter of 1404 to 1408 Greenleaf Street, ZBA item 21ZMJV-0067, that we move to approve the variation requests, allowing a non-conforming structure to be increased inside and expand the non-conforming residential use in said structure.
Second.
Katie, can I have you call the roll? You're on mute.
And yeah, as soon as I unmute myself, Chair Colin,
Approved.
Member Miranchov,
Approve.
Member Deacon,
Yay.
Member Arevalo,
Approve.
motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you so much, Warrens. Thank you, Donna Lee. Thank you, everybody. So the next thing we need to talk about is that the next meeting is, what date is the next meeting, Katie?
October 19th.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I have a question before we adjourn, and this is a question for Melissa. Do we need to formally submit in writing our intention to continue on the joint boards in the new calendar year, or how would you prefer us communicate with you?
No, we don't need anything in writing, just as long as we know what your intent is, because we're gonna roll over everyone into the new committee unless you don't want to be a part of it anymore. But please be a part of it. So we're hoping for a smooth transition so that ZBA continues as normal through the end of this year. And then starting in January, we've got that new committee with everyone appointed and ready to go.
The LUC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I don't think we need a roll call. I think everybody's in favor.
No one ever roll calls the adjournment.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.